After being run over by a truck and being offered the chance to be reincarnated in a parallel world, Misato Kurihara, who felt unhappy in life due to her high intellect, asked that she be reincarnated with average abilities. Reborn as a noble named Adele von Ascham, the girl, going under the alias Mile, travels to the capital of Tiz to start an average life. Learning that several children have gone missing, Mile goes to search for them, encountering Mavis von Ascham the knight and Reina the mage on the way. Finding the missing children along with a merchant named Pauline, the girls confront the kidnappers and their leader, Arletty. When her small stature is insulted, Mile, whose abilities are actually the average of all magical creatures in the world, inadvertently uses her overly powerful magic to defeat the kidnappers with ease. The next day, Mile begins attending Hunter's prep school, discovering that Mavis, Reina, and Pauline are all her roommates. As lessons begin, Mile tries to hold back her abilities to appear average, only to make her roommates even more suspicious of her. Later, as the girls form a party and go on a quest to hunt some horned rabbits, Mile decides to train the others to become stronger, in the hopes that she'll stand out less. Just as they complete their assignment, the girls are ambushed by a group of rock golems, but manage to defeat them with what they've newly learned. After 6 months have passed, the girls make plans to form an official party following graduation. With the school faced with closure, the principal asks the girls to take part in the graduation's mock battle against B-rank hunters and win against them. On the day of the battle, Mile is approached by Arletty, the one behind the closure, who offers to revoke the closure on the condition that she become hers if her party can't win without any losses. To both of their surprise, however, Mavis, Pauline, and Reina all manage to win their battles with the skills they've learned in the past 6 months. For the final battle, Arletty steps in to fight Mile herself, but quickly surrenders after witnessing Mile's power firsthand. After their graduation, Crimson Vow begins to undertake hunter quests in order to cover their living expenses. After a few gathering quests, they accept an assignment as guards for a caravan, where they befriend an old merchant. After an embarrassing incident with their garments, the Crimson Vow prove their worth by handily defeating an attacking robber band, their wizard ally, and his upgraded rock golem. During the fight, however, Reina reveals an overly intense hatred for bandits. One night during a camp break, Mile, Reina, Mavis, and Pauline tell each other their background stories. Reina, a peddler's daughter, has come to hate bandits since such people killed her father and then the Crimson Lightning, an adventuring hunter band who had taken her in, leading to the revelation of her magical abilities. Mavis ran away from her noble home when her father and brothers denied her desire to follow in their footsteps as a knight. Pauline is a daughter of a well-to-do merchant who was murdered and his business annexed by his treacherous head clerk, driving her to becoming a hunter in order to avenge her father. On her part, Mile tells her story as Adele von Ascham, how her mother was murdered and she was driven from her home by her new stepmother, and how she made her first friends at Eklund Academy until an incident with her magical powers caught the king's attention, forcing her to run away and adopt her new identity as Mile. The merchants escorted by Crimson Vow make it safely to their destination, where they meet the old merchant's granddaughter, Annie. Right afterward, the merchants must deliver another shipment, but on their way, they are beset and murdered by bandits. Determined to avenge them, Reina makes off into the woods on her own, followed by Mile, Mavis, and Pauline. The girls discover that the bandits are actually soldiers from the neighboring Albarn Empire, assigned to disrupt Amroth's trade revenues and defeat them all, at the same time stopping Reina from killing their leader. The old merchant also turns out to be alive, having by sheer chance evaded the attack, and is happily reunited with his granddaughter. After their successes on the road, Crimson Vow decides to take a break. At a loss of what to do, Mile decides to go to the beach and tailors new bathing suits for herself and the other girls. Although this causes a slight scandal when these turn out to be too revealing for this world's fashion sense. But as they return to their inn, Pauline backs off the group and disappears after spotting a soldier lurking in an alleyway. Just as Mile, Reina, and Mavis are wondering where Pauline has gone, they receive a letter from Mavis's family, telling them that her third eldest brother is marrying Pauline. However, this is just a ploy by her father's former head clerk and his friend, Viscount Boardman to form bonds with the prestigious family line, and to ensure Pauline's cooperation, they hold her mother and younger brother hostage. In order to stop this insidious scheme, Mile, Reina, and Mavis invade the Beckett estate, and Mavis's father, Count Austin, calls for a trial by combat, which Pauline easily wins. When Count Austin demands that Mavis returns home, she refuses, forcing Mile into a trial by combat against the Count. After being defeated, the Count finally gives in and approves of Mavis's career choice. Tired out by the workload Lenny heaps upon them at their inn, in exchange for a reduction of their rent, Crimson Vow takes up a wyvern hunting quest, despite wyverns being exceedingly difficult hunting targets. They visit the village in whose vicinity the wyvern in question has settled, and bring it down after Mile employs several airborne attacks using her teammates as living missiles. However, before they can kill it, they are stopped by Boonclift, a royal mage who befriended the wyvern, who he named Lowbreath in his youth. With those two old friends happily reunited, and with Boonclift generously recompensing all parties involved, Crimson Vow fulfills their long-desired dream of erecting a private bathhouse on the inn's grounds. While celebrating Lenny's 11th birthday, Mile wistfully thinks back to the first birthday she had ever spent with her friends at Eklund Academy, prompting the rest of Crimson Vow to prepare their own surprise party for Mile. However, to do so, they have to gather funds on their own without telling her, making Mile obsessed with the idea that the others are abandoning her. Still, even after the secret comes out, the party comes to pass. Until a relieving Mile confesses to having committed some minor transgressions against her own teammates. Wishing to prove to Mile that they are not too dependent on her for help, Reina, Pauline, and Mavis decide to accept a particularly difficult quest: finding an investigation team gone lost while exploring the peculiar fluctuations of a nearby forest's monster population. As they enter the forest, Crimson Vow discovers that some powerful creature has settled into the deepest part of the woods and subjugated the local beast people as its servants. After freeing most of the investigation team, they go after their leader, an elf scholar named Ku Lelea, still held captive in a set of ruins being excavated by the beast people. However, there they are forced to discover that their opponent is an elder dragon, one of the most powerful creatures in this world, and Mile ends up fatally wounded. As she lays dying, mired in self-doubt, Mile recovers upon seeing her friends fighting for their lives, and with her newfound determination, she manages to boost her magical power, easily defeating the elder dragon and two of its congeners. From the dragons, Crimson Vow learns that they were seeking to unearth the remnants of a prior, more advanced civilization that died out when it could not develop any further. Although they and Nano, a remnant of that lost culture, refuse to divulge their motives, Mile eventually deduces that they might be looking for that civilization's lost weapons to increase their power. Mile decides to leave on her own in order to discover their plans and perhaps save the world, only to find Reina, Pauline, and Mavis joining her willingly on her new quest. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please sure to let us know by leaving a like. Subscribe for more stories and check out other stories here. And if you enjoyed my voice, feel free to support me in the social medias linked in the description below. That's all I have for now. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.